But the point is, if you take money and you set it aside, not for emergencies, not for your paycheck, not for your lifestyle, you set that money aside and you define it as being money that is to be invested, whose job is to be invested to earn you income, passive income, which then can be reinvested and compounded. That is how you grow your net worth. I am Christina Suter, and this is the Real Estate Breakthrough Show, where we talk about the reality of real estate, the mindset you need in order to face the reality of what it is, and tips and tricks to get you moving forward in investing. I am your host, Christina Suter. Today, I want to talk about your education. Your education can make a difference in how successful you are in investing. So specifically, this time I want to talk about the topic having to do with financial education. Financial education is a big topic. It's not a little topic. I'm just going to cover the basic concept about financial education. The first thing I want to ask you is, did you ever get a real clear financial education from your parents? Did you ever get a real clear understanding of how to deal with finances? If you're not a CPA and you didn't take accounting in college, there's a really good chance that you never did get a clear financial education. So first and foremost, I basically want to get you to let yourself off the hook. If you didn't have anybody who sat you down and described to you about money, and described to you about your relationship with money, and described to you how important it is to have a relationship with money, if nobody taught you about that, nobody taught you about insurance policies, nobody taught you about checking accounts and savings accounts, nobody taught you about 401ks, nobody taught you about how to buy a stock and sell a stock, nobody taught you how to invest in a note in real estate, nobody taught you about how compounding works, nobody taught you about what it means to be able to get the rule of 72. Nobody taught you how you can use saving and compounding of money and solid investments as a way of earning your future retirement and your future peace. If nobody has taught you these things, nobody sat you down and explained it to you, let yourself off the hook and learn it now. Let yourself off the hook for not knowing it before, and set yourself up for success by choosing to learn it now, by choosing to have a financial education, whether it's listening to my shows, or whether it's listening to somebody else's shows, or whether it's taking a community course in college on how notes works or how investing works, or taking one of the multiple courses you can take from Buddy Bloom, Gary Johnston, Bill Tan, David Tilney, Gary Johnston, I think I've mentioned that twice, Peter Fortunato, whether it's any one of our real estate instructors that have taught me, people who have been in my field in real estate, seek out having a financial education about how to make it work. So let yourself off the hook and find your financial education. Teach yourself your financial education. Okay, let me give you one little tidbit. I'm just going to give you one little tidbit of a financial education. All right. Here's one little tidbit I'm going to give you about financial education. Do you know the difference between money you can spend and money you should save? Do you know the difference between money for your lifestyle and money that is capital, that is an asset, that is to be saved and invested and moving forward? Do you have that understanding? Maybe you do, and that's great, and you can turn me off now. Maybe you don't. Maybe you haven't heard this concept before very clearly. Most of the people who win the lottery, and I don't have the exact number, but many of the people who win the lottery end up spending all the money that they get. They end up being more in debt after winning the lottery. I think it's within 10 years after having won the lottery than before they won the lottery. Why is that the case? Financial education. They didn't understand the difference between money you can spend for your lifestyle and money that you want to save for your growing asset base so you can become financially independent. Nobody sat them down or nobody took the time to explain it in enough detail that they could own it. They could embrace it. They could choose it as a way of living. And I'm encouraging you to choose it as a way of living. Your paycheck is money for your lifestyle. Your choice to save that money for your lifestyle, for that money from your paycheck, will feed your asset base. So let's say you get a paycheck of, let's say $50,000. Let's say you live on $45,000 of it. Let's say you save $5,000. Cool. Great. Now, a lot of people would go, well, that $5,000 savings is for me to handle emergencies. Let me suggest this. Maybe suggest that that $5,000 savings is for you to add another $5,000 to next year, to have $10,000 to be able to buy an asset, whether it's a performing note or a non-performing note, that's going to pay you 8% return. And that 8% return that you get on that asset is to be compounded year after year so that in 20 years, it's valuable. Do you know, I don't have the numbers in front of me, I'm going to try to remember them. Do you know that if you save $5 a day and you did that for 20 years, someplace around 20 years, and you compounded that every year, you reinvested that $5 into something that earned you a 10% return, you'd have $1 million? I don't know the exact numbers, but it's something around there. So don't quote me on the exact numbers, guys. But the point is, if you take money and you set it aside, not for emergencies, not for your paycheck, not for your lifestyle, you set that money aside and you define it as being money that is to be invested, whose job is to be invested to earn you income, passive income, which then can be reinvested and compounded. That is how you grow your net worth. You know that bonus you get from work? Maybe that $10,000 bonus you get every year, $15,000 bonus you get every year. What if you didn't use that for your paycheck and your lifestyle? What if you set it aside and had a clear wall? See that clear wall? A clear division, 2 separate boxes that said paycheck is money for your lifestyle and your net worth is money to invest. And you have a clear wall between the two of them. That is what defines that your savings can then feed your net worth so that later your net worth can feed your lifestyle. But there needs to be a wall. So all I'm asking you to do is set up the concept in your mind that that extra money that you receive is not for emergencies or the broken tire. That extra money you receive, and maybe you have to put it in an online bank account so you can't touch it. That extra money you receive specifically is for you to develop your net worth, your own portfolio for your own retirement. Just create that line, and that will define for you your future success. Thank you so much for listening to me, Christina Suter, your host on Real Estate Breakthrough. Tune in next week.